Reports.
I tell you who's supposed to be on this committee is, I think Johnny Walker was on this committee, and by virtue of the fact that he's gone, that makes Jimmy Jordan a member, and I bet he didn't realize that.
Bet you're right. He was with Steve Reeves tonight. So as when Steve left, he probably left with him.
Yeah, Walker was on this committee.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the fifth member.
Yeah. Well, we got 3 of 5, so.
Let me go over this real quick for you. Since we've got since we're on YouTube now, let me state everybody who's here: Commissioner Farley, Commissioner Oglesby, and Commissioner Powers, and I'll chair the meeting for tonight's exercise since Commissioner Lillard's not here. What we've got is Sheriff's Office is got their personnel policy for y'all to review. Now, all the sheriff has to do, and I think there was a lack of communication between myself and folks in the office, is that they've just got to have it adopted into the minutes when we during our county commission meeting. So it's just basically read into the minutes, really no vote or anything from the commission. Because this year we have the stipend included. What's been included, and Inspector Garcia here will give us more detail on this, is section F, and it's on page 70 of your packet. It's basically the pay scale and the step raise system, which is basically trying to make something similar to what we did on the ambulance side, but something that fits the sheriff's office. There's money in the budget for this year, so this isn't really an issue, and this can be read into the minutes with no problem, and it'll be part of the sheriff's employee manual. What we probably need to do is to have discussions, not tonight and not this month, because everybody needs to get familiar with this and let them explain it. It's come back in the next 2 months maybe, and make sure that they have sufficient funding, or at least get an idea, give the sheriff an idea of how much funding he expect to move forward with this, because my understanding is like a 5-year plan to get us closer to our competition around us. And by doing that, we'll lose fewer officers, keep folks here a little bit longer. And I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what we're doing, and that if you've got questions, now's a good time to ask it. Or so if we don't have the answers, we can get those in the next month or so. So I'm going to turn this over to Inspector Garcia and let him sort of go through it and just sort of give you an outline of what the change is and what the sheriff is doing to his personnel policy.
Thank you, Mayor. Basically, what we've done is when we went through the budget process, we had talked about the need for a step raise system, because when folks were hired on at the sheriff's office, basically what they were hired on at is the pay that they would make unless they had a significant change in their rank. And even then, we had folks who were acting in supervisory positions that were making less pay than the people that they were supervising, just because we didn't have a set system in place. So what we did was basically create a table system, and you'll see that table is an appendix at the back of the policy, I believe. Let's see. It's page 86 in your packet. So it's very similar to the government's GS pay scale type system, and we now have it set. We added section F into our policy, which basically sets the rules for how the program works, what someone enters in at, what they have to do to receive the merit raises. And the way we've built this table right now is an entry-level position would receive 5 step raises across 5 years, as long as that employee has satisfactory performance evaluations. So each year on their anniversary date, an evaluation is completed on the employee, and then the decision is made as to if they have a satisfactory evaluation, they would move to the next pay scale. So once someone tops out at their number one position for each one of those. You see deputies, you see corrections officers, communications officers. They would go from level 5, 4, 3, 2, and they would top out at level 1. So the next opportunity someone would have for advancement would be to start working through the rank system, such as sergeants or lieutenants, and to get into that. And we put 2 levels in there for sergeant. So someone who's coming fresh out of a deputy position would go into a sergeant 2 position, and they would stay in that position for 3 years. And if they have 3 years worth of satisfactory evaluations, they would be advanced to sergeant 1. So those would be the automatic raises that would go into place. And this is what we're trying to do to get us in line with a lot of the other agencies that we've been losing people to quite frequently. Any cost of living adjustments that are received year after year will be applied to the table across the board and would cause the entire table to shift by whatever percentage. And like the mayor said, we're hoping that over the course of about 5 years, we can maybe get to 70 to 80% of some of the competition that we are having to deal with when it comes to employment.
Does anybody have any questions? There's really nothing to vote on tonight, and but there may be something that y'all see in here that we need to address.
Commissioner Powers here. The main difference for this over 2016 is just the addition of the the chart and the step raises, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that the change? Okay.
Yes, that's really the only change that we made to the rest of the base policy is in place as it has been for year to year.
Okay.
And these are the step raises that we voted and approved in the budget.
Yes, sir. These are the step raises for basically what we did in the sheriff's, because we didn't have a plan or anything. We just had a dollar amount. And this is how he's handling that amount of money. The one thing that did pop out, and it was not actually a change, but I saw it in his policy, where it defines a part-time employee as 32 hours or less. And since this, I think it's ACA came through the health insurance legislation, we've got to get that changed to 30 hours, or else a person is eligible for insurance and the rest of the benefits. So I think that's something I've got to go to the sheriff on to make sure he's good with that.
So basically, this was just informative for us to know what's coming over the next couple months, and we'll vote on this probably December or so.
Yes, sir. Well, hopefully not December. I hope it's done before then, so we can get rid of December. But something at that time frame, yes, sir.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions? If not, is there anything else we need to talk about? If there's not, I want to thank y'all for showing up tonight. And we've got committee meetings starting tomorrow night at 5:30. They're going to be all three of them tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
Commission meeting will be by Zoom again, I presume?
Yes, sir. As of right now, it will be.
Okay.
Okay. Thank y'all very much.
Mayor.